Hey, hello, welcome everyone to again our e-learning portal. And today we are going to discuss some function topics. We have covered two sessions on function, and now we are going to discuss some more things about the function. So let's get started. So here you can see, like, as our today's agenda is the local and global scope, the variables scope in function, how they will work in a local and global manner. And after that, we are going to see the decorators in Python, how decorator will be used there. And we will see plenty of examples for better understanding and the clarity of these topics. And then we'll move further. So let's guys first of all discuss about the theoretical part of both of these things, and then we'll move further. So guys, first of all, we are going to discuss about the local and global scope. Let me just increase the size of the screen. Yeah, local and now talking about the local and global scope, what is the meaning of that? So basically, if I will talk about that thing, yeah. So local means the variables which are defined locally. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of like defined locally? It means like the variables which you have defined inside a function. I can say that. The particular, you can say the variables, or either it will be integer, string, doesn't matter. The variables which you have defined locally, that will be in a local variable. And global means the variables which are defined globally. Globally means basically outside the functions. Now let me just give an example on that. Let's suppose here we have a function. Now this is our, let's say, program. So this is our program script of Python. Now, as I have told you, inside a program we can have multiple functions. We can have one function or two functions. So we can have multiple functions inside that. So let's suppose here I have created two functions. Now I am denoting one function with a green one. So this is my function number one, this one. And similarly in that manner, I'll create one more function. Let's say this is my function number two. Now what basically happens is, let's suppose if at any point I'm defining a variable, let's say a equal to, let's say, 10, and I have defined this variable inside this function. So this will be a local variable for this function, which means you can only use this a variable inside this block, not outside of that. Similarly, if in any case I have defined one more variable, let's say b equal to let's say 5, yeah, equal to 5. Now that is defined in this block, so we can only use that b variable inside that block. Now if the function, this function, the function number 2, want to access that variable b, so that will not be possible, because b is a local variable for the function number 1, so it cannot be accessed in function number 2. Now in that case, if I want to create a variable which will be used for both of the functions, so at that time I have to create a global variable. So for that I can create some variable, let's say b, and the value of b will be, let's say, 20 or whatever we can take. Now this particular v is defined in this block. Okay, so it can be used in function number 1 also, like function number 1 can access this part and function number 2 can also access this part. So this is called global variable, and the variables which are defined inside any functions, that will be treated as a local variable. I hope that point is a little bit clear to all of you guys. Although we will see the examples that will give you a better idea. And one more thing which I want to add here is, whenever you want to use global variable, the function, we use global key. So global keyword is basically used for accessing the global variables, because function will not have any idea like it is a global or a local, because you can create the same name variables outside the block also and inside the function also. Like let's suppose here, if I have created a variable in this block, if I have created a variable a, then I can also create a variable a here, because these both scope are different. Its scope is global because it is defined inside a program, and this scope will be local because it is defined inside only this block. So that might be possible that you will get confused like which a I am talking about. So when you want to use that global a, this global a, then you will use the global keyword. So let's see how we can use that part. So let me just open my Python here. Yeah. So guys, I'll just open a new window. Just a moment. Let's check it out. Here. So first of all, I'm defining a variable. Let's say a equal to 10. Now after that, I'll say def hello, and then I'll say a equal to 5, and I'm printing print inside hello because I'm inside a function. Then I'll print the value of it. Now you can see in this program we have two variables which is named as a. One is a equal to 10 and the second one is a equal to 5. Now this is the global variable because it is defined outside the function, and this is the local variable because it is defined inside the function. In the same manner, if I am creating a new function, let's say def high, in which I am creating a variable, let's say b equals to 10, and I am printing inside high, I have a variable, let's say b. Now this will be also treated as a local variable because it is defined inside a function. Now here, if I am calling the function hello, so it will execute this hello part and it will give you the value of a to be 5, because if I want 10, I cannot use it directly. Why? Because that is a global variable and you have defined a local value inside hello. So when I run this code, let's check it out. You can save this program anywhere. So let me just save it to my documents. Function 3. And here guys, you can see the output that is inside hello 5. Now in the same manner, let's suppose if I have not defined this variable here, now that means we don't have any local value for hello function, for a inside hello function. So when we don't have any local value, the function will look for the global value, this one. So when you are not defining any value inside hello, it will go for the global value. But if you have defined a local variable, it will work on that. So here, if I run this code again, you can see the output that is inside hello 10. Why this happens? Because you can see in the diagram also what happened there is, when you have defined some variables inside a block, it will use that block. But if that is not defined, then it will be depending on that program. Like inside that program we have defined any variable or not. If we have defined, it will use that. So in the same manner it is working. So basically, when we don't have any variable defined inside a function, it will look for the global variable, else it will work with the local variable. And what happens if we are not defining global variables? Let's say we don't have this line also. So at that time it will give you error because you have not defined a anywhere, either globally or locally. So that is the way. So either you will define it in a global way or in a local way. It totally depends. Now here, let's suppose I'm just making this as comment, and let's discuss one more concept of that. Let's suppose I have defined a variable equal to 10, then I'm saying def hello, hello, and inside that I'm saying equal to 5, print hello, and then the value of it. Then I'm creating def high, inside that I'm saying high, and again the value of it. Now here you can see guys, we have defined a equal to 10, which is outside the function, so that will be global. We have defined a inside the function, that will be local. Inside hi, I have not defined anything. So when I call the hello function, it will call it and use that local variable. But when I call hi function, now hi don't have any variable inside that, so it will be relied on the global variable which is 10, which means this is different and this is different. This will be used inside the hi block because we don't have any definition for that a variable inside there, and this will be worked inside the hello block because we have defined it as a local variable inside that function. So let's call these both functions the hello and hi, and let's see the output for that. So here guys, let's see that. Now you can see for the hello we are getting the value 5 and for the hi we are getting the value 10. So there might be a question in our mind that if I want to change this variable value, how I can change it? Because inside a function, if I'm writing a equal to 5, it is creating a new variable. It is not working with that variable. So what I want to do, I want to change the global value of the variable, which means I want to use the global variable. So whenever you want to use the global variable inside Python, you have to write global keyword. Now this line means inside that program, I'm using the global A, which means if I'm writing anything with A, it will not be considered as a local value. It will be considered as a global value, which means now this A and this A is same. But if I'm not writing this line, then this A and this A will be different. If you want to make your local and global variables same, then at that time you have to use the global keyword. If you want to make it separate, then you need not to use the global keyword. Now here you can see guys, first of all the value of A is 10. Now in hello I'm using the global A and I'm changing the value to 5. So for hello the value of A will be changed to 5. And for hi we don't have any value of A, so it will use the global value. But we have changed the global A value to 5, which means for hello and hi both the value will be 5. Let's check it out. Awesome. Here you can see the value is 5, which means if you want to make your variable same for each of the function, then at that time you will use the global keyword. If you want to make it different, then you cannot use the global keyword. Let's take an example of that. Let's suppose we are making a functionality of volume up or down. Okay, it's a volume up or down. So first of all, I'm defining a variable vol, that is 10. By default, our volume is 10. Now I have a function def up, which will increase the volume. I'll write volume equals to volume plus 1. I'll print volume 1, volume up, and the value will be 2. Same in that, now I'll copy and paste it here, and here I'll say def up, def down, which will be for volume down, and volume will be volume minus 1, and here I'll say volume down. That will be volume. Now here you can see I want to use this volume variable for both of the function. So I need not to create a volume variable again and again for each function. So for that achievement, I use global volume. Now that's done. Now here I will say first of all I'll call up, then down, then up, then again up, and then down. Now let's check it out the output. So whenever the volume goes up, you can see like first of all it is 11, then down it will be 10, then 9, then again 10, then 11, then 10. The same functionality of the volume matrix. So this is the way how we can use the global and local variables. So we have successfully discussed the first agenda. Now we have the agenda of the decorators in Python. Let's check it out also. So first of all we will see the theoretical part, what is decorator, and then we will move on that. So yes guys, now we are going to talk about the decorators. What is decorator? So you can say like decorator will decorate something. It's not going to create something, it will decorate something. Which means like I can have some design here. Let's say this is my old design, and now some decorator will decorate the design in this format or like in this format, like this, any kind of format. We don't know the format, but yes, any kind of decoration will be applied on the basic structure. So in Python we have also the concept of decorators, and what it will do, let's check it out. So decorator will basically provide additional functionality to the function. Like if I have created a function and now I want to add some additional functionality, then I can use the decorator. Now it might be possible that I might not want that functionality every time. Like for some time I want that functionality, but at some time I don't want that functionality. So it might be possible there. So in that manner, I want to create. Let's suppose, let me just give you a overview of that. Let's suppose I have a function which is not decorated, okay, which is not decorated like this. And when I apply the decoration on this function, then this will become like this. This will become like this. Now, sometime I want this design and sometime I want this design. Now my problem is either I have to create two functions, one is that one and one is that one, or what I can do, I'll create only one function, and whenever I want to do that decoration, that diagonal cut, then I'll apply that decoration, and if I don't want it, I will not like apply that decoration. Just like you can think about like the base model and the top model of any vehicle. So we have a base model which is same for everyone. Now if I want to do some changes or like apply some accessories on it, then I can apply the accessories. But that doesn't mean that we are creating two type of models. The model is same. The only thing we are applying some accessories on that model, then that will become a top model, else it will be a base model. So here we have this type of options. So what is the benefit of that? Like why we are creating or applying accessories from some outer side? Why we are not creating the same thing, the two functions? The basically you can say the benefit is we need not to create it again and again. Once we will create the accessories, once we'll create the base model, now whenever we want that accessories attached to the base model, we'll just attach it, and when we don't want to attach it, I will just only, you can say, remove it. Some functionality like we can say YouTube. In YouTube we have YouTube and YouTube Premium. Now that doesn't mean the company will or the organization will make two apps for us. It will make only one app. When we want the premium subscription, they will just add that subscription premium. They're not creating some another app for us. The app will be same. So that is the basic, you can say, some functionality for the decorator. So let's go in a practical dive for that. That will give us a better understanding. So let's start with that. Now here, I'll just give you a pretty much example, a basic example on that. Let's suppose I have a function def. I'll say print function. Now this is a simple function. When I call it, it will print hello function. Here you can see hello function is there. Now let's suppose here I want to apply a basic design which is welcome and bye bye on the hello function. So whenever the structure will run, I just want a welcome message and then bye bye message after the execution of the function. So what I can do here is either I can add the print welcome and at last I will add bye bye. So here I'm not decorating it, I am adding that two lines inside that. Now there is no problem when we are adding any line, that will not create any issue. But the problem is when I will create, let's say, some another function, let's say def, and I'll say print hi function. Now again, if I want to add that same design, I have to again print the welcome and bye bye in this function also. So I have to add these two lines again and again in each function, and that will take us more time. and when I want to remove it, I have to go for that function and remove it from there, which is basically like changing the structure of the function. So we need not to change the structure of the function. What I will do is I'll remove it from it, and I will say, okay, I have a function def add message, and what it will do, it will just take the function as an argument, which means the message which I want to add, I will add it on which function. So let's suppose I have created a function and now I want to add a message on that function. So I will say, okay, I'm calling the add message and I'm giving that function on which I want to apply that add message functionality. Just like I want to use the premium membership of YouTube on this YouTube account. So I have to give the YouTube account. So for that I'm giving the function on which so now what I will say, yes, in the add message, I will just give a function. So what I will say here, okay, in the add message, I will say, just create a function, def inner function, which means a function which will do all these functionalities. So what it will do, first of all, it will print welcome, then it will call this function, like whatever the functionality of this function, then it will print bye bye. Now you can see it is taking the function as an argument, applying some functionality, and then creating a new function, which means the function which I am giving, it is just transforming the things in a new function. And after doing all this stuff, what it will do, it will return that function to me. Which function? This function. Okay, so it will return that function to me, and now everything is done for us. Now here, whenever I want to use this functionality on hello, I need not to change the definition of hello. What I will do is I'll just add msg before that function, and for making it as a decorator, I will use the @ sign. So @ sign is a symbol, or you can say a symbol, which is basically adding that decorator to this function. Now if you call hello, you can see the output is welcome, hello function, and bye bye. Similarly, if I want to use that decorator on hi, the only thing which I have to do is @ hi, and that add message, and that's done for us. Now if I call the hi function here, you can see the functionality will be added on both of us. That's done. Now if I want to remove the functionality from hello, let's say as of now, so I need not to change anything in the hello, I'll just change this part, and that's done. You can see here in the hello part, you can see we don't have any additional decorations, but in hi we have the decoration. Similarly, let's suppose if I want to add some more decoration, I need not to change anything in hello hi, I will just change the decoration, welcome, let's say SSDN technologies. Now you can see the SSDN technologies logo is automatically, the word is automatically here. Now in the same way, if I will again put that decoration on the hello add mg, you can see in this part the decoration is already done. So whenever you want to change some decoration, you need not to change the function, you need not to change all the code. So that is the benefit of decorator. So these are the two things which we have to discuss today with examples, and we have successfully covered all the parts. So let's move to our agenda again. Yes guys, so we have discussed the local and global scope of the variables. We've seen the decorators and the examples on that. So yes guys, so at the last we have a thank you session for all of you guys. So feel free to share your feedback or any suggestions we may have for the improvement, and if you have any questions or doubts, feel free to ask on the comment section. We'll definitely there to help. And we have successfully covered the functions module, so now we will cover the modules, like how we can create our own module in Python, how we can import them, how we can import some predefined modules like the date time, the time module, the calendar module, like these things. So we'll discuss in the upcoming videos. And till the time, do practice more on Python. Okay, bye bye.